ready? All right.
Is that way?
All right. It is 5 o'clock. I'm going to call to order this West Fargo Public Library Board meeting. It is Thursday, February 12th, 5 o'clock. We will move on to item number 2, which is roll call. Sarah Westall,
Here.
Tyler Erickson,
Here.
Tony Stukel,
Here.
Leanne Hansen,
Here.
all right, and I am Robin Anderson. So we are all present and accounted for.
Here.
All right. Yep, we got you. All right. We're all present and accounted for. Moving on to the next item of the agenda. It's to approve the order of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the order of the agenda. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Nope, we didn't have any requests.
All right, no request for public comment. Next item is consent agenda, and we have 2 items. We have the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was December 11th, 2025, and approve the financial reports. They've been distributed.
I move to approve.
And I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Our motion carried. Next item on the agenda is new business. We have strategic plan goals update. We will turn it over to Jenna.
Thank you. As you know, last year we did a lot of work on putting together a new strategic plan that involved a lot of community survey, work with our board, our friends of the library, and staff members. Following that, we sat down with our staff members this fall to take a look at the strategic plan that we had put together, and we had some focus sessions to look at how we might carry that out. So after those focus sessions, we pulled together all of the ideas from our staff members, and our manager team sifted through all of that and put together what we thought were the best goals for the first year and couple years of the strategic plan. So just as a little reminder, our strategic plan is based on 3 core value areas, and that is compassion, growth and learning, and community and connection. And from those 3 areas of core values, then we have areas of focus. So these strategic plan goals fit into those areas of focus, and you'll see those noted as we move along through here. So to just kind of roll through this list of goals, we would like to increase library card signups by 15% by the year 2028. So we're going to start now and then keep working on that, hoping to achieve about 5% each year for that target year of 2028. We'd like to increase usage of our individually funded e-resources by 15% by the year 2028 as well. So this would be the things that our library individually subscribes to that aren't already purchased through like the state library that the whole state has access to, or are available through like an Odin consortium purchase, something like that. Increase the usage of our satellite library by 15% by 2028. So we're going to look at a variety of different metrics for our satellite library. Increase supports for non-English speaking library users. We get a lot of folks coming into the library, for example, that speak Spanish. We're finding that we use our phones to translate a lot as we're helping people at the desk. It'd be really handy to have, for example, a library card application in Spanish available at the desk. So we're not using a phone to translate. So producing some of those resources. Improve browsability of our library collections. Improve City of West Fargo staff understanding of library services. Our staff are often our best ambassadors into the community, and so we want to make sure that all departments of the City of West Fargo have a really good understanding of what the library has to offer. We also want to make sure that our city staff know the benefits that they can be receiving through the library as well. So working with our HR department to make sure that when new staff are onboarded, they see the library as a benefit to them as well. Continue work towards securing a new library location. I know that's something that our board members are really excited about, as well as our friends of the library and other supporters in the community as well. Improve circulation services by removing the $1 replacement library card fee. Increase community resources at the satellite library. So at our main library, we have a wall of brochures and other information, just, where to find senior services, a food pantry, things like that in the community. So having some more of that kind of information at our satellite location as well. Consider expansion of Library of Things collection. This is a little bit of library lingo, but Library of Things collection would be more of the non-traditional library items available for borrowing. So some libraries have like radon test kits that you could borrow from the library, or cake pans, or some libraries in Minnesota have cross-country skis you can check out, or, just a variety of different things. So we'd want to do an assessment of what makes sense for residents of West Fargo and see if there's something that we should have in our collection available for checkout for residents of West Fargo that's not just a book or a DVD. What makes the most sense? Improve meeting room and study space options and procedures. How can we make it as easy as possible while still getting the data that we need for our surveys that are required by the state and the federal government? Create a read and return collection. A read and return collection is items that don't have to be checked out. So right now we do have puzzles that can just be borrowed and returned when you're done with them. But maybe we would have a read and return collection of books as well. So if you're going on vacation, you don't have to worry about bringing that back from the cabin or wherever you're going. Continue to work with West Fargo Public Schools to support students in the summer using the library on wheels. This is something that we are always working on, but want to continue to focus on improvements there as well. Produce a 3 to 5 year technology plan. We already have some aspects of this, but this is something that we want to flesh out and have a more well-developed technology plan for our library. So tracking what we already have, what we need, and where we see ourselves going in 3 to 5 years. Improve access for homebound library patrons. This is an area that we could see ourselves doing better in. We want our residents in West Fargo to age in place well, and there are just a lot of barriers when you're a homebound resident to receiving library services. So want to take a better look at what those barriers are and how we can be providing library services in a way that makes sense for our staff capacity, protecting patrons' privacy, and still getting people the access that they need. Expand teen programs to include more social connection opportunities. When we survey our teen attendees at our programs, which we do fairly regularly, one of the things that we frequently hear is that they come to our programs because they want to make friends, they want to make social connections. And so we're taking a hard look at what programs they're attending and why. Where are we fostering the most beneficial social connections for them so that we can lean into that. Increase resources, literature, and opportunities for parents. Develop better supports for job seekers in the library. Looking at the potential for adding an additional book drop in the community, doing an assessment of where people are living, working, and playing in West Fargo. Where does it make the most sense to have that book drop in the normal flow of people's lives and activity? And then update the aging furniture in the main library meeting rooms and readers' seating. In one of our meeting rooms in particular, the tables are falling apart. And they're difficult and noisy to move. And so part of making our meeting rooms easier for the people that are using them for our library staff and also for the community would be to update the furniture in there. Board, do you have any questions or thoughts about any of these goals?
Mr. Chair, I do have a question. I got two questions. Well, one comment and one question. First, the aging furniture in the main library. I used some of the furniture, and I'll say it worked just fine, but I do know that some of it is a little dated. So the other thing, so that's my comment. The question is, outside of the securing a new library location, would you say that the 3 to 5 year technology plan is the most costly goal out of these lists of goals?
I actually don't think the 3 to 5 year technology plan is costly necessarily. That's really more keeping track of what we have, making sure that we're replacing things in a timely manner, which we are already doing, but keeping better track of that. Our space needs assessment did say that we should be adding additional computer stations, but we do have a space constraint that's limiting us in that. We can get creative and try to find additional spaces where we can add some, and I do have ideas about that, but I don't think that is going to be wildly expensive.
Okay. And the reason I ask is the state is currently undergoing a large digital accessibility transformation for ADA. Are you guys, that's what I assumed, that maybe had something to do with that line item. Is that something that municipalities are doing or going through right now as front-facing accessibility for digital?
I think you're referring to the new federal requirement for, so the city as a whole has updated our website and A lot of that work has been done already,
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, we should be compliant. A lot of our digital resources that are purchased, those should be compliant already. Odin, which does a lot of the, like, consortium purchasing for us, has worked with a lot of those vendors to ensure compliance on a lot of those things. And we're talking like big national companies that supply a lot of those things, and so we should be good compliance-wise.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just, in fact, checked the website and I see the little purple box that pops up. I've never noticed that before. Great, okay, thank you. That's the only question I have.
All right, do we have any other questions?
I have a question about the teen programming. As a past teen librarian who did a lot of programming, I was especially happy to see that you're looking into making sure that the teens have more social opportunities. And I was curious how you surveyed them and what these opportunities are going to be.
Yeah, I know that they're getting a lot of anecdotal feedback in the programs. That's often where we get our best data, is in the moment, when we have one-on-one conversations with the teens. And sometimes those drive-by conversations, when you hear the teens talking to each other too, and you gather that data, you can get a lot when you're listening to the teens talking to each other. Oftentimes, when we give them a paper survey, you don't get as quality of data from them as well. We do that, but again, the quality of the data isn't as great. But once we've established a relationship with them and they do keep coming back, then that anecdotal data that we get. We do have a feedback tracker, kind of a database where we keep track of all of these things, the comments that they share, and our programming staff is really good about keeping notes on what programs people said what in, and debriefing after programs as well, things that they noted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Chair, last thing. Jenna, I was curious, kind of just to piggyback on that a little bit. Are there any strategic plan goals for staff? Anything related to that, strategic goals? Or is it already in here?
As far, are you thinking like staff development wise?
Yeah,
or?
staff development, retention. Take it and run with it, whatever you think, that means.
I would say we do have a lot of those goals. They're not necessarily listed here. But we've talked a lot about workplace climate and staff retention. And we are anxious for the new city HR director to start. And I've been talking with city administration, and we have some good goals in mind for the library and for the city as a whole to just work on some of those types of things as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I have one more question about the increased usage of individually funded e-resources. I know you get quite a few resources from the state library, so are these resources that have been identified by patrons that are already not in your packages, or are you looking at funding some of those e-resources that you already get yourself?
So these individually funded e-resources would be consumer reports, Peterson test prep, Udemy, which is a whole bunch of different classes, online courses you can take. A lot of it is like career advancement type of things. These are things that just aren't offered other places. So Peterson Test Prep, for example, is one that we've invested in because it's hard to buy like the new ACT book, the new ASVAB book, the new SAT book every year because they're expensive. Everybody wants them at the exact same time, and they disappear and they don't come back. And so having a resource like that that we pay for, it means that everybody that wants that same book at the same time to prepare for that SAT test, well, everybody can take the practice tests online at the same time and have access to those things, the ASVAB test, the ACT test, all of those things. It has a lot of things on there as well for like if you need to take your Boilermakers test, a lot of those career advancement tests you can take practice tests for. Udemy is really great for folks looking to advance their skills in a lot of different areas. There's a lot of technology classes on there. There's a lot of like HR kind of training, leadership training kind of stuff on there. It's just a really wonderful resource that, again, like if you were going to take like, if you've ever gotten like the ads for masterclass kinds of things, that's what's on Udemy. There's a lot of college courses that are available to you on there. And this is available for free through your local library. Consumer Reports is one of our most popular resources because who doesn't want to look up reviews on an expensive purchase before you go out there and buy, a $500 whatever appliance. So that's really helpful for a lot of folks. But the fact of the matter is, as budgets get tight down the road, we may need to make some decisions about what we keep and what we don't, and some of these things are expensive. And so we want to make sure that our residents know about them and are using them, and we're advertising them properly and teaching people how to use them properly so that we're getting the most for our money out of them for our residents here in West Fargo. And if we do need to make a tough choice, we're making the right tough choice based on our user data.
So is the plan then for some of these newer resources that you would do a workshop for the community, or how would you advertise these products?
So our adult services team actually regularly does kind of do programming on a lot of these to teach people how to use them. Spoiler alert, I was going to share this later, but we did just hire a new adult services manager. They'll be starting in March. So I don't know for sure that this will, it's a new manager, but I would assume that they'll be continuing to do some technology teaching as well. And that part of that push will be teaching folks how to use some of these things. And certainly, we do technology tutoring as well. So we'll sit down with folks and show them one-on-one how to use different resources in the library. Frequently, we get asked about, genealogy, how to search through some of those databases and stuff as well. How to use a database is a frequent question in technology tutoring.
All right, great. Are you looking for board approval on this, or is this information only?
This was just kind of an update in form. As we go through the year, we hope to have some updates for you as we kind of tick some of these things off and make some progress. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the Friends of the Library report.
Guess I'm up. So I am the secretary for the Friends of the Library. And a couple of the recent events that we've done is, of course, Giving Hearts Day, which is still going on, by the way. So if you're interested in donating to the Friends, it helps out our library immensely. We received a $3,000 donation from Marvin Windows, so they matched a donation. This past Tuesday, we had a Giving Hearts Day event in conjunction with Junkyard Brewing in West Fargo here, and we did a blind date with a book. So we had, I think, about 20 books initially that were wrapped up, and those sold out in 15 minutes. So we were very excited that people were happy to buy those items. We sold them for $10 a piece as part of Giving Hearts Day. And that event will actually again happen in the fall. It won't be a Giving Hearts Day event, but it'll be a donation event, a blind date with a book, because of all of the community members that came to the event and sold us out right away. So we were not expecting that, to be honest. We even thought that 20 books might have been too many. So we were a little worried that we weren't going to sell them, but we were wrong. And we have a book sale coming up in April. It's at the end of April, and we're trying to do that a little bit in conjunction with both the Moorhead Library and the Fargo Library, because they have their book sales around the same time. So look for more information on that as well. But we're happy to take donations if you have them, so.
Great.
And Sarah, when does that donation drive start? Is it the
which
whole month
donation drive, the books.
for the book sale?
Now.
Now?
Yeah, we're taking them anytime.
All right. Great. Next item on the agenda we have is the director's report.
Well, since we didn't meet in January, I thought we should take a look at how we ended the year. We ended the year beautifully. We were 93% expended, which is great. It's good to come in just under. That means that we did a great job with the budget, and we did have a couple open positions, so it makes sense that we were a little underspent. And, yeah. And ultimately, that's where those unspent dollars came from, were the staffing lines.
Mr. Chair, quick question on that for Jenna. Jenna, so if those are all FTE dollars in benefits, you'll retain those. You won't have to fight for those dollars this next budget cycle.
Yep, according to Century Code, once mill levy dollars are assigned to the library, they cannot, at the end of any fiscal year, go back to city or county. They are retained by the library.
Cool. And when you're talking about levies, we still talk about levies? No? I'm just curious, just if we can as an educational moment, if there is, do we still talk about levies?
Commissioner Anderson, how would you answer that question?
I would say more allocation than levy.
Okay.
Yeah.
More like a percentage.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're really talking more in whole dollars now.
Yeah.
However, in Century Code, in that section, it still does say mill levy.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
As far as 2026 finances go, 6% expended year-to-date, which is right where we would expect to be. We've been separating out the satellite from the main library for you in these reports, just to take a look at that. And with the strategic plan goal of wanting to look at the satellite in particular, we'll probably continue to do that. So we've got December and January on there for you to take a peek at the door count, library cards made, and physical circulation. And here we've got our total circulation numbers for January. It's always fun to take a look at this chart and see how we just keep going up. So when you compare 2025 to 2026, we were about 3,000 higher in circulation in January, total circulation numbers. So that would be physical items and electronic items combined. Looking at just the electronic circulation now, electronic circulation is really high. Pretty soon, Ellen is going to need to add another line to our chart.
Mr. Chair, really quick question for Jenna. I know I always ask you, Jenna, the comparables. If I knew what Williston was circulating at 40,000 people, would it look similar to this? I know, and it depends on the community. Like, is this volume in the increases, is that, any idea? Like,
I have no idea what Williston circulation looks like, but I can find out for you.
for sure. And not necessarily Williston, just a city of comparables.
A comparables?
Yeah,
Sure.
whatever that would be. Maybe the eastern part of the state reads more than the western part of the state. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
We can find out.
thank you.
I have a question about Libby circulations. Have you had to increase the number of items within the package? I know people put holds on things and then have to wait a little bit of a period of time, and then you end up looking at those holds and thinking maybe we should get a few more same items. Has that been something that you've had to do with the increase?
We do get notifications when the hold lists get real long, or if somebody hits that notify me if there's an item that we don't own and that's something that they want. So our collection development team will get those notifications. And we do try to make sure that our hold lists are not excessive. That's kind of like something as a state that everybody kind of watches together as well. So the state library will keep an eye on it too. If they're noticing lists are getting long for something, they might purchase an additional copy. But when we discontinued Hoopla in May of '24, we put the funds that we had been using towards Hoopla into purchasing additional titles for Libby to buy down, more of those holds and to give more priority towards our patrons as well. And so we're seeing that effect in our holds list there.
What are the changes at the Fargo Public Library that are referred to here?
Yeah, recently the Fargo Public Library changed their service area. So you have to live in the Fargo city limits to get a Fargo card. It used to be you just needed to be a North Dakota resident to get a Fargo card.
Okay.
And then they also increased their fee for an out-of-area card as well. And so we've been getting a lot more folks coming in, signing up for West Fargo cards. And also the state library's been getting a lot more people as well. And primarily it's people that want to use Libby and want to use electronic resources. So that's, I think, where we're seeing this big jump in electronic circulation for our users, is people that had maybe been just using a Fargo card and using Libby with a Fargo card, but are actually West Fargo residents, are now using a West Fargo card. January door count is up a little bit. And our meeting room usage is way up for January. You'll notice that usually January is pretty low compared to where we have been, so that's interesting. I wanted to just highlight our circulation team for a minute. They don't get highlighted in our director's reports very often, but all of those slides that I just talked about, that's really the circulation team. They are the folks that are at the desk answering the phones, answering the emails, filling the displays, making sure everything looks nice and tidy, checking things in, getting them back out right away, filling those holds. All of the wins, all of the statistics that you're seeing that keep going up, a lot of that is a direct result of the hard work of our circulation team and the dedication that they show. So, yeah, congrats to that team. They're amazing. Some recent patron feedback that we had about them is, thank you for operating like a library should. I learn something new every time I come here. My favorite thing about the West Fargo Library is the staff. They are always welcoming and willing to give recommendations on books. You people at the library are wonderful. I just want to say thank you to everyone who works here. You all are so helpful. So, and there's many more moments of thanks every day. Yeah. They keep us going. We also, at our staff day recently, gave out some annual staff awards. This is something I started when I became director here. These are peer-nominated awards, and it was kind of fun that this year both of the staff awards went to the circulation team. This is Lindy Williams and Kayla Burkholz. So one award is for mission and vision, carrying out the library's mission and vision, and the other is for service. So congrats to those two. It's really fun to be nominated by your coworkers for the excellence that you carry out day to day. And then staffing update. We had a part-time circulation assistant position that was filled, and that person started today. So that was very exciting. Also, our adult services manager position is filled, and they will be starting in March. And we are now interviewing for the adult services librarian position. So looking forward to being fully staffed shortly. Youth programs, some recent highlights from them. We had a Cocoa and Cozy Crafts event. Over 80 people came out for hot cocoa and to make winter-themed crafts. I don't know if you were in the library in the last month or so. If you were and you walked up that stairway, you were accosted by all of the snowflakes in the entryway. The snowflakes represented 30 minutes of reading for those that participated in our winter reading challenge. We had 134 participants who completed over 73,000 minutes of reading during that 6-week challenge. It was pretty fun to see all of the snowflakes go up on the walls. And many of them fell and had to be put back up again, so snow was falling every morning in the library. We also have some beanstack challenges going on with local middle school and high school students as a collaboration with some of the schools. The goal is to keep students excited and engaged with reading in the winter months. So what happens with those is the schools will reach out to us wanting to collaborate and use our Beanstack platform, and the Youth Services Department works with those media specialists in setting that up, and then they use our platform for that. We'll also have a March Madness reading challenge coming soon, and pre-registration opens up for that tomorrow. Adult Programming and Outreach had a scam awareness program that was well attended and got great feedback. This is a topic that only becomes more and more pertinent every day. We just saw in the news that the Dickinson Public Schools had a multi-million-dollar scam issue. So it's something we all need to be aware of, all members of the community. Our book clubs are ever popular. I've been filling in on some of those book clubs, and I am having a wonderful time. I've been having the participants introduce themselves and then share why they keep coming back to book club, what keeps them coming back, because these rooms are full. And one of the things that was really touching that somebody shared in a book club recently was they keep coming back because they open their hearts to each other. So the books are a foil for the discussion, but ultimately everybody in that room is coming back because of the connections that they make, the friendships that they build, and how they open their hearts to each other. I thought that was really beautiful and fits with the library's mission and vision as well. Monday matinees have been going really well here in this space in the commission chambers. Everyone has really loved being in a more accessible space. And senior outreach is going really well too. A patron at Cheyenne Crossings recently told our outreach coordinator, "This service brings me joy." And I love that. I talked about our staff training day that we just had when we gave out those staff awards. Here's a couple pictures from that staff training day. Some of the things that we learned about were hands-only CPR and stop the bleed training. We learned about some of the safety equipment that we have at the library, like our AED machine. And we have pictured in that first image is a chair that pops up if we have an individual who uses a mobility device and is unable to go down the stairs by themselves and the elevator is not operational. We can use this special chair to strap them in and get them down a stairway safely if they need that. So staff got to practice pushing each other down the stairway in this special chair. We learned more about navigating NeoGov, our HRIS platform. We learned, went through our strategic plan goals, just like I went through with you today. And we also had a presentation by the North Dakota State Librarian. With that, I can answer any additional questions if you have them.
All right. Great. So a lot of good stuff happening. So it's good to see that, and good to see the increases in the traffic and the circulation too. All right. So it looks like next item on the agenda is item number 4. We're looking to adjourn. So I'll take a motion and a second to adjourn.
Move to approve, or move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. First and a second to adjourn. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Kayla was telling us